when I was younger, I remember very well the doctor's appointment that my mother and I went to. Actually, I was on dialysis for a number of years, and they said, you know, maybe you should get your name back on the list, or become active on the list. And so I was going to go and see my nephrologist, and they said, well, we recommend, well, actually not recommend, you have to bring somebody. In my mind, it was absolutely that I was just going to be activated back on the deceased donors list. But then it was actually, I think that was then he had turned to my mother. I was really iffy about it. I mean, she wasn't young anymore, and I thought, well, in my mind, it was like, no, I'm not going to do this. But then we went downstairs, we grabbed a coffee, and we had talked about it. Most recipients I know now, their organs came from, you know, other than heart and lung, came from somebody who was either a friend or related. So it's obviously we're headed in the right direction, you know.
Welcome to the Center for Living Organ Donation's annual Living Donation Celebration event, part of Living Donation Week 2022. My name is Candice Coughlin, and I am the host for the Living Transplant podcast.
And hi, everybody. My name is Janine Johnson. I am the host of the Green Table Talk and co-host of today's event.
The Center for Living Organ Donation was created by the Ajmera Transplant Center at UHN in 2018 to improve access to living organ donation for people who need a life-saving kidney or liver transplant and those who want to give a transformative gift of life. We raise awareness, provide support, promote research, and offer hope to thousands of people who are waiting for a kidney or liver transplant and everyone who wants to be part of their future. We understand that weeks like this may be also difficult for loved ones who have lost people and made the decision to donate their loved ones' organs to save lives. And we're incredibly grateful for the legacy of organ donors and think about them this week as well.
Yes. Now, this event is part of the Living Donation Week, a National Awareness Week, featuring free virtual events and activities focused on improving access and equity in living organ donation, profiling the work of the team transplant, and celebrating our incredible living donors and transplant recipients. And of course, we wouldn't be here without the support of the, Astellas, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, Joanne Kearney and Brendan Cahill, Chris Smith, and the YE Agency.
Before we get started today with some of the celebration events, I am very honored and pleased to introduce Wanda Whitebird, an Indigenous elder, to open the ceremony for us. Wanda Whitebird is a Mi'kmaq woman Bear Clan from a little place in First Nations, Nova Scotia. Wanda began her working career as a penitentiary liaison worker and later in the prison system working with Indigenous inmates. Wanda has also worked for the Anishinaabe Health in Toronto, Ontario for 13 years and currently works as a women's outreach support worker for the Ontario Aboriginal HIV/AIDS strategy. Wanda is a ceremonial elder, a pipe carrier, and a sweat conductor. Welcome, Wanda, and thank you so much for being with us here today.
Oh, thank you so much for the invitation. It is my pleasure to be a part of this celebration of life in a unique way. Mm. And so I begin by saying a prayer. And so we say, Basho, Shomas, Nokamas, Nani Meta Nangakwena Dishnikas Makwadodem. My name is Dancing Star. I come from the Bear Clan. I'm a member of the Mi'kmaq First Nation, and the territory I come from is a little place called Batangek, which is about 19 miles outside of Antigonish in Nova Scotia. Although I moved to Ontario in 1986 and now reside and live and work in the territories of the Mississaugas of Credit, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and of course the Anishinaabe. But many people who are from different nations, the Cree, the Métis, many 60 Scoop survivors called Toronto home. Is it a place where we gather in our belief that everything is related, including the trees and the animals and the many things that you see around you? We're all connected to create life. And I am so happy to be a part of giving thanks to you who have provided living donors of organs for people, because you too give the gift of life. And there's nothing more important in life that I believe is to take that honor and to be able to do that. The Creator has given you the health, the stamina, the personality to be able to help others to stay longer upon this earth, to be a part of their families, to be a part of their growing families of just being together, during a time of COVID and coming out of their families have spent a lot of time together, whether welcomed or not. But the important thing is we learned to be together through what I would call really thick or thin. So my prayer to all of you is a prayer of thanksgiving, a prayer of gratitude, a prayer of recognition about how, I don't know if it's good to say that you're all heroes, but I believe that you are, in a way that shapes families and unconditional love in no other way than to give your organ to someone else. So if you're listening to this broadcast, if you're hearing our voices, think about it. Consider it. Look at all the information, because you too can be a part of giving the gift of life. So thank you, Miigwech, Nico Nagana, all my relations, Saho. Miigwech, Candace.
Thank you so much, Wanda. Thank you for setting the tone and intentions of today.
Wow, that's beautiful. So now let's pass things over to Dr. Atul Kumar, Medical Director of Ajmera Transplant Center, for a few opening remarks.
Hello, I'm Dr. Atul Kumar, Director of the Ajmera Transplant Center at UHN, and it is my honor to have the opportunity to celebrate Living Donation Week with you. The Ajmera Transplant Center takes great pride in our living donor programs for kidney and for liver transplantation. They are amongst the leading live donor programs in the world, with excellent long-term outcomes for our recipients and a superior track record of safety for our donors. We are also very proud of the many innovations in our living donor program, such as the Paired Exchange program, our Anonymous Donor program, and the recent launch of an online portal for long-term follow-up of living donors. This is only possible thanks to the dedication of our teams and the altruism of our living donors. I am always amazed at the difference that living kidney and liver donors make to the lives of others, family, friends, and sometimes even complete strangers who are in great need. Living Donation Week is the time to celebrate all the amazing people that become organ donors, and also to celebrate our amazing transplant teams who have dedicated their lives to this noble cause. This week is also a wonderful opportunity for us to come together to learn from one another and to think about new innovations and opportunities to enhance and involve the field of living donation. So thank you for joining us and wishing everybody a great Living Donation Week.
So, as you might have guessed from our opening video, the theme of this year's Living Donation Week is Share Your Story. Now, through the Green Table Talk, I have been able to interview a lot of people who have decided to become such generous donors. They've decided to donate a kidney, whether it's a liver, sometimes it's to strangers, sometimes it's family members. I had one guest, Candace, that donated twice. She donated part of her liver and she donated kidney. So it's all about sharing. And so sharing your story is our theme, which is wonderful. It's something that we need to do.
Beautiful. And through our podcast, Living Transplant Podcast, I have been incredibly grateful to be able to connect with people, to hear about true human selflessness. And, you know, we've gone through the motions of also listening to some of people's darkest moments that they've had and sharing their gratitude. And then, of course, the pure triumph of the human spirit in all of these remarkable journeys of donors and recipients and caregivers and our specialists, our team transplant, who has been with us through that entire time as well.
Yes. Now, not only are living donors saving lives, but when they share their story, they educate and inspire, and they show the world how beautiful living donation is.
The stories of living donation also provide great hope for people on the transplant list. They show potential recipients that there are actually people out there who are willing to donate a piece of themselves to give people a second chance at life. And there's absolutely no greater gift.
Completely agree. So we are excited to introduce to you Stephanie Drew. Stephanie is one of the YE Agency's founders who helped us create the Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign. And that we're about to speak to her about this, but most importantly, Stephanie was a living donor to her amazing son. Please.
That scar represents for me that anything is possible.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible.
I know.
As a daughter who received a transplant from my mom, you know, I always say that my mom gave me life twice. And wow, Stephanie, it gives me chills every time I see that. And, you know, seeing you here today, you look absolutely beautiful. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened with your son and how you became his donor?
Sure. And thank you so much for having me on. And you're so right, Janine, by sharing our stories, we do help inspire and sort of, I think, bring hope, which is one of the most important pieces in this for sure. So my son, JP, was a 3.5-year-old super active boy and definitely what we would have considered like healthy. We noticed a tiny bit of yellow in the corner of his eye. And so we decided, we had been living downtown Toronto, we decided to bring him into Sick Kids Hospital. And what sort of felt like it was very precautionary, he was admitted with one liver function number that was slightly elevated. Within 5 days was fighting for his life. And so everything just happened very quickly and very suddenly. We felt like we were left sort of with no explanation as to why this was happening, but understood that transplant was necessary. And so for him to live, he was going to need a transplant. And we understood because of the urgency around his condition and declining health, living donation was likely our best option. So we didn't have time for deceased donation, but living donation was sort of necessary. And thankfully, sort of the teams at UHN and the Ejmera Transplant Center, and then of course, Sick Kids, they coordinated very quickly to put me through testing to determine that I was in fact going to be a match for JP. And they did that in 8 hours, which I believe was record time and sort of unbelievable. I think that the team was able to rally and sort of get me through significant testing. And then it would have been that evening that I completed all of the testing and was determined actually I was going to be a match. We were in the operating room the next morning. So very sudden, very urgent, and sort of moved through this very quickly. We both had like amazing recoveries. And, although challenges for him along the way, I know I can personally speak that for myself that, I had an amazing recovery. I feel incredible even now. And thankfully now we're almost 9 months out of this happening to us. And he's also doing well. So he just started junior kindergarten and is living his best life, as we like to say, and sort of just being a regular 4-year-old boy.
That's amazing. So he's back to normal. You're doing well. He's rambunctious, like nothing even happened.
Exactly. And sort of this campaign, and I think it's truly at this stage, and when you think only 9 months later, if we didn't have those scars, if we didn't have those marks, I think I'm not sure we would even believe this happened to us.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of those marks, your family has been on a remarkable journey together. And through that journey, in conversation between you and I, you had told me that you had a marketing company. And at the time, that is a crash through this experience. And so being an entrepreneur, you have to quickly pivot. And so when you pivoted to have a partner join you, you created the YE agency, and you've used that agency to then bring awareness and share your story. And you came to us at the Center for Living Organ Donation and said, what can I do now that we've been through this? And we were blown away by your passion and your support, and how you and your team stepped forward to make this such a beautiful, impactful campaign that really actually shared the voices of donors and recipients. And so I'm wondering if you can tell us a little bit about, how did that idea come to be? And, how has your agency really stepped up to create this Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign?
Yeah, Candace, for sure. And I think just sort of prior to surgery as an agency owner, sort of I had these moments and realized sort of in my journey that my team members lived it with me as well. And so every single moment of this, from something that felt really precautionary when we admitted JP, which was, initially, I remember posting to the Slack channel for the team saying, guys, I'm a little bit absent, JP's in the hospital, but all is good, to oh my gosh, this got really real and he's fighting for his life. And so in those days, just watching the team members step up, Daniele, my business partner, sort of, we had collabing agencies, sort of him stepping into this role. And I think, as time progressed and we sort of moved through and had a little bit more perspective on what happened, I very quickly also realized a bit of my ignorance in this, that I didn't have a lot of knowledge of transplant. I didn't know at the time that living liver donation was an option. So things that I realized, like, wow, I wish more people knew this. Kidneys, sort of, I had some awareness on. So I think naturally sort of the creative elements and sort of this beautiful team who also was very passionate about it started to think of, what can we do for this? And how can we make this a little bit more mainstream? How can we get people engaged in understanding that this is an option? And then, of course, as a mother, I think the fear of, JP was fighting for his life and didn't have long to live. What if I wasn't a match? Would there have been people who could have stepped forward? So I think sort of this pressure of, what if there's another mother in my situation that maybe couldn't donate? Are there people who are willing to donate? So I think sort of this, we need to get people understanding sort of the urgency and that transplant isn't always who we think it is. It's not always sort of who we think it is. So I think there was this, even urgency from our team on how we can sort of move the needle on some of this awareness, bring this a little bit more mainstream. And I have to sort of be honest, one of the pieces around Great Actions Leave a Mark was I struggled with my scar initially. It was a big wound, it was a big mark. And so I think it also became, how do we get people to love their bodies, love themselves for, and really what those marks represent. There are stories, there are things that we have done incredible things to actually get those marks. So I think it really became sort of with your team and sort of this collaboration of, let's make this about living plan and encouraging people and bring awareness, but also this beautiful piece of let's, bring some positivity back to the world. And we all sort of are better, I think, having shared our stories and sort of engaging with this, what we're doing.
Wow. Wow.
So basically, what we're saying is the goal of this campaign is to raise awareness, right? And just help people feel comfortable with themselves and their scars, right?
Exactly, Janine. So I think, if we can move the needle, and I know in JP's circumstance and something very close to my heart is, we need people to be aware of this. We need people to know that this is available to them and to inspire hope if they're waiting for an organ to, that they have this community and this group sort of behind them. I think it's, maybe not everyone is in a position to be able to be a living donor, but they can go in and become a donor and check that box. They can donate blood, all of these things that became so necessary for my son, for sure, even blood donation. So there's things we can do. And if nothing else, we can talk about it. We can share stories, we can engage. So every one of us can participate or engage in some capacity.
Just a little side note, a friend of mine, her son had surgery. He had a liver transplant, and he's 11 years old. And his friends at school, so-called friends at school, they're harassing him and making fun of him because of the scar. And it's to the point where he's telling his friends, oh, it's just a shark bite. Shark bit me, and that's where the scar came from. Before he would say, oh, just joking, but now it's to the point where he's actually telling them this is where the scar came from, because he doesn't know how to handle this. So when my friend, the mother of this amazing young boy, when she heard about this website, she was so excited because now she can show him, hey, look, Auntie Janine has a scar, and look at all these 39 amazing people coming forth and showing their scars. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's your warrior scar. This is, to show that you've been through it and you've survived, so she's extremely excited for this site.
That's amazing. And I think, all of us who were part of the campaign and who now are hearing about that campaign are going to be so excited to see these photos and these videos. And for me, being a recipient of a kidney transplant from my mom, it was such a monumental thing in my life. It was a dead stop for me. It halted my life completely when I was a crash start onto dialysis. And I was 24 years old, and it felt like the world was, crumbling down. And her stepping forward to be my donor was this bright light at the end of the tunnel for us, that we could see that, as she was going through the process, she kept getting past the next step until finally we got the call that she's a match and you're going to have the transplant, and it's going to happen on September 9th, 2009. And, get prepared because this is happening and your life is going to change. And so since then, it's been so important for me to be able to share my story and what we've been through to show hope to other people who have been diagnosed with kidney disease, because I want them to know that the diagnosis is not the end, that there is hope. It's just a bump along the road. And when you get to that transplant, be proud of that. Be proud of everything that you've been through, because my goodness, are people who are living with chronic disease are, like you said, Janine, they are warriors. Yes. And, that time will come that, someone may step forward to be your living donor and be ready to say yes, because they want to be your donor. And if you're having difficulties finding a donor, find an advocate who is willing to support you through this journey and who can, share your story and continue to share your story yourself as well, because it is so important for others to know how they can help. And so I'm so grateful that I was able to be part of this campaign and bring my daughter with me along the ride as well. I have a photo of an ultrasound of my daughter's head that has the picture that has my mom's kidney right beside her head. And, it's just such a special thing for me to know that, because of my mom, I was able to become a mother myself as well. And so I was so grateful to be part of this campaign. And Janine, I'm wondering, you were a part of this campaign as well. What did that mean to you, and why did you want to participate?
Well, basically in the beginning, shortly after surgery and after all the healing and stuff, I had all these scars. And I was one of those people who were just like, okay, I'm gonna cover it up, and felt a little uncomfortable. And so, I felt that after a while, after I got over all of that, I realized, you know what? This is nothing to be ashamed of. I have a 16-year-old daughter. Well, now she's 17. And I try to encourage the body positive image. So how am I supposed to encourage this with her? But then I'm hiding every scar. Like I have one right here. It's all over midsection. Right. And so how am I supposed to encourage her? Oh, it's okay, body positivity. But meanwhile, I'm hiding and I'm ashamed. And you know what I mean? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I told her that I was going to do this. She was over the moon. She wanted to come, but of course, unfortunately, she couldn't. But she was over the moon, and it just encouraged that body positivity image, which I'm trying to instill in her and continue to instill, because it's important. We can't just be all wrapped up in our looks and the way we are, and are we a size 2 or a size 12? And it's not. We can't focus on that. So when I heard this was coming about, I said, yes, I need to take part. I have to take part. So
incredible. And so with all of this build up, I think everyone is probably watching saying, we want to see more.
Yes.
So we are very excited, without further ado, to show you a short trailer for the Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign. Enjoy.
My symptoms for a liver disease was so bad that I needed a new organ to save my life.
My kidney was deteriorating at a very fast rate. Did not think in a million years my wife would be a perfect match.
Even if I wasn't a match, I would have donated the kidney to someone else so that he could be farther up on the list.
When I got the initial go ahead from that I was a match, it was probably one of the happiest days in my life.
Why not me? Maybe I should be doing this.
For all my friends that have donors, it's just amazing to see what they do with their life. Because it's a second chance.
It's an incredibly generous thing to do, that it's extremely safe.
Knowing that I was able to make this type of impact and save my sister's life.
The scars to me I'm proud of them. And to me they represent hope and love and optimism and all the good things, rather than the panic and the fear.
It's a mark of opportunity, it's a mark of hope, it's a mark of gratitude. It's a mark of being able to do things that I had no idea I could do.
Wow, that's amazing. I love it. I love it. I mean, there's nothing else to say. That was great.
It's incredible. It is so touching to get to see all of those living donors and recipients share their stories and, share the impact that not only living donation has had on their lives, but, what the people in their lives have done for them and how this connects all of us. And I always say, this community is, of course, not a community that I hope people are part of, but once you are part of this community, everyone in it becomes your family. And so to be able to watch that trailer and see, my family, as I will call them, be so courageous and bold and brave in sharing their stories, it's so touching, absolutely touching.
Yep, that's why I said it was great, because it was something that had to be shared and they took the time to do it, right? Which is amazing. Stephanie, as a mother and living donor, what is it like to watch that trailer for you?
I think definitely, as a mother and sort of seeing that, it always emotionally sort of hits me, right? And I think the urgency of what happened to us and understanding something that I didn't know was possible. I didn't understand that you could get that sick that quickly. So I think, it's just this reminder of not only gratitude, but of the importance of all of these messages, of understanding sort of that you're right, Candace, this community exists for us and that there is hope and help in all of these big pieces, but it definitely sort of feels sudden. And I think, in our circumstance, and I'm sure a lot of mothers can relate, it's sort of your worst fear as a parent, it's really your worst fear. And I think, the hope that this campaign and these stories really offer us is so important. And I hope that we can share that message.
Amazing. And so thinking about the campaign, Stephanie, what can we expect from the campaign moving forward?
I think what impresses me the most about this campaign is the rawness, the realness, and the authenticity.
Mhm.
And I think that this campaign very much represents real people, real stories. And all of them share this theme of love, of courage, of bravery, hope, inspiration. And I think as humans, there's this raw connection of all of these pieces. And I think Wanda sort of kicked that off, today about connection and the importance. We're all human. We're all on this, world together. And I think this campaign really sort of brings some of that rawness, that humanness. And I encourage people as they see these stories, they're all so different in their own way, but yet they have these sort of themes of exactly what I mentioned. So I think there's this beauty and sort of seeing there's 39 people, I believe, that have participated. And this is really a fraction of the stories that are out there. And I think the exciting piece is capturing more and capturing some of this rawness of the realness. So as much as there's all of this positivity around it, there's also this honest side of transplant. And I think the campaign and all of the participants have done a fabulous job at bringing all of it forward.
Amazing. And I think, for those who see this campaign and are excited about what they're seeing, and they say to themselves, I want to show my scar. I want to show myself. I want to be part of this. We encourage you to get creative. So, at home, turn on your lights, grab your phone, grab a camera, show us your scars. We want to see them. We want to share them with other people. The website will be launching, greatactions.ca. And on that website, there is actually a place where you can send us your photos and you can send us your videos. And so we encourage you to share with us what that journey was like for you as a living donor, as a recipient, or, even as a caregiver and family member, of how that touched your lives, because living donation affects all of us. And we would love to include more of you in this campaign.
Yes, agreed. Stephanie, thank you for bringing forward this amazing campaign. Thank you for helping us feel comfortable in our skin and in our scars with our scars. We greatly appreciate it. And thank you for sharing your story with us here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. And now I am incredibly excited to share with you some entertainment from the Cree rapper Hallenbach. He is from the Samson Cree Nation in Alberta, a veteran in the native hip hop industry, moving from his native Alberta to Winnipeg in the early 2000s. He co-founded the popular and respected rap crew War Party. He's currently a solo artist, and throughout his refreshingly honest body of work, he not only bears scars and speaks to his kidney journey, also, he talks about dialysis and celebrates the things that are most important to him, including integrity, community, and most importantly, his family. He is currently working on a new album, and he has stated that his wife and he decide to make music because they love the art and the platform to push messages of positivity and hope. He was hoping to join us today, but he is battling his own journey as a kidney warrior. And so we are very grateful that he has sent us some entertainment. So please enjoy this from rapper Hallenbach.
Without any further ado, I'd like to get into the Kidney Warrior. through up to. I ain't shy to go and say that's true. There's a gang of kidney warriors who see this ain't the suit. Hey, so it's okay to go and stand up. Put your fistula up and show the world a new love. Cause I'm just saying that anything here is possible to live a long, good life and overcome obstacles. It's scary, yes I know. It's a very long and winding road. But be strong and learn to hold the load. Blood in, blood out, that's the hemo life code. Have you ever had an itch you can't scratch? I'm talking your whole body, not just your back. In fact, here's the facts that you didn't know. Half the people with kidney disease don't even know. Have you ever had an itch you can't scratch? I'm talking your whole body, not just your back. In fact, here's the facts that you didn't know. Half the people with kidney disease don't even know. Respect what they does, never hate or overstep. Just have faith in every breath and make sure to let them know every day to stay blessed. It goes a long way in the face of what we facing. I was like you in the doctor's office pacing, scared of what's next. Surgery, yes, anxiety and stress, it's all a process. Don't forget, I was on PD2, oil changes 4 times a day to get me through. It's okay to show your feelings and praise what they do, cause in the end it's a process that'll help you live too. Have belief in the higher power, it'll help the pain. Belief in your medical team to help you frame. Belief in the fact you and I are the same. We're both kidney warriors and we'll get through this thing. Have you ever had an itch you can't scratch? I'm talking your whole body, not just your back. In fact, here's the facts that you didn't know. Half the people with kidney disease don't even know. Have you ever had an itch you can't scratch? I'm talking your whole body, not just your back. In fact, here's the facts that you didn't know. Half the people with kidney disease don't even know. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you for having us to be your in-flight entertainment as we're on this little tour here. Virtually, I wish that we could be there together, all in the same room, rocking the stages. Soon enough, soon enough. We are the Resilience, and we want to thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Amazing. It is incredible to see someone channel their journey into their art. Thank you so much, Helen Back. That was incredible. So living organ donors save lives. We don't often get to say thank you as often as we would like to. My mom and I actually celebrated our 13th kidney anniversary on Friday. I took her out to dinner, and when we arrived, I had a big happy anniversary balloon that I wrote kidney in between. And the waitresses came over, and they saw it and they said, "Who's the donor, who's the recipient?" And we told them, and they went into the kitchen and they pulled us together 2 bouquets of flowers that they brought out for us in mason jars. And a bunch of people came over and asked us what they could do. So we, of course, told them that they could register their consent on beadonor.ca and then go learn more about living organ donation. So we were laughing because we were like, it's always a PSA with me, I guess. But you know, incredibly grateful that I have had 13 years, and it's almost unbelievable and hard to put into words what it's like to go through.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So, of course, you know, every day, and especially on Friday, my heart has been full of gratitude. And, you know, thinking about gratitude, we have this absolutely beautiful gratitude wall that people have been sharing their messages on. And I would love to share one of the messages for all of you from that wall. In November 2021, I was able to donate a kidney to my husband. And for this, we are truly grateful to the University Health Network. The team at the Living Donor Program was incredible, seeing us through the process, which was extended due to the unexpected arrival of COVID-19, just as we thought we were about to have the surgery in early 2020. Julie Sissel, our transplant coordinator, and Susan Brain, administrative assistant, provided exceptional guidance and encouragement, even when the delays were caused by the pandemic, which made me wonder if the procedure would ever happen. These women are amazing and will always be heroes to me. Also deserving of great thanks and the superhero cape is our surgeon, Dr. Ganeker. While I had no doubt that he was a skilled surgeon, I was most impressed by his willingness to spend time explaining the procedure in advance and answering questions in a relaxed, understandable way. The ability to relate to patients and to communicate in a down-to-earth manner is not something always found in the most accomplished of surgeons. Dr. Ganeker has this ability in spades. Lastly, a huge thank you to the nursing staff in the transplant unit at Toronto General. They took incredible care of us following the surgery. I know they were understaffed and overworked, a situation that continued to be made more difficult by COVID. Their kindness, patience, and good cheer never wavered, and I was touched by how many of them congratulated me for being a hero giving the gift of life. Personally, I know who the heroes are, and they are the staff of the UHN transplant team. Thank you for giving my husband and me a new lease on life. And that's from Colleen.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So everyone is invited to write on a gratitude wall. You can view the gratitude wall and write your messages at bit.ly/txgratitude. Head over there to write a message of thanks to your doctor, surgeon, living donor, nurses, coordinators, social workers, or whoever stood out during your transplant journey. For me, my gratitude definitely goes to my donor. If it wasn't for Christy, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. And my gratitude definitely goes out to Dr. Lee, because not only was he, he was funny, he was, patient, he was kind, he took the time to explain everything, he calmed me down, he helped me understand, I know you're nervous, but it's okay, I got this, we're good. He just reassured me, and every time I saw him in the hospital thereafter, he took the time to say hi, and I waved at him and waved back. He'll ask me how I'm doing. And it made me feel special because I was just like, I know he has other patients. I know I'm not the only transplant patient that he's seen since I had my surgery in 2018, but it's like he remembers me, which made me feel special, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of gratitude to my family who was there throughout this whole process and supported me. It's just, we don't have the time. We don't have the time, Candace, to go through my gratitude list.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And I think all of us have those long running lists of gratitude because, like you said, it's not one or two people who make this happen. Living Donation takes a team, a transplant team, our families, our spouses. Mm-hmm. At the time for me, my now husband was only my boyfriend of a year when I crash started. And now look where we are today. So, it takes a lot of people to keep us healthy and, to make sure that all goes well. And I think that gratitude is going to continue throughout this week. And we're going to keep hearing from people. And one of the groups, of course, that we've talked about a couple times today that we're grateful to are living organ donors. They provide incredible hope to people on the transplant wait list, and they truly give us our lives back. Each year, we send out celebration kits to the past donors, which include a medal from the Trillium Gift of Life Network that recognizes their incredible life-saving gifts. And we wanted to share a few of the selfies that we received from this year's group of living donors. These are a few of the pictures that we have received, and they are absolutely incredible. You can see in their face how happy they are to have those medals.
Agreed. I would be happy too. I mean, they did something great. They helped save a life, right? That's beyond words, to be honest. Mm-hmm. So if you are a living donor and you would like to share your medal selfies with us, we would love for you to share them on our social media accounts. Please send them to livingorgandonation@uhn.ca or tag us at GiveLifeUHN. All week, we'll be sharing stories of living donors, recipients, and team transplants. Sharing your story is important in finding a living donor. And of course, as I said, my story has spanned over the past few years. I'm healthy and I'm fine now. But, back then it was a difficult journey. It was a very difficult journey. And if I didn't take the time to share my story, whether, I put mine on social media and that's how I found my donor. But if I didn't take the time to share, I don't know where things would be right now. It would have been a much more of a difficult road, I should say, for myself and coming to this end result. I don't even know if we would have reached this end result, to be honest, right? Because I was only given 4 years to live. So I'm very happy I shared my story.
Wow. And Janine, can we hear more about your story on the Green Table Talk as well?
Oh, well, Candace, I'm glad you asked. So I am the host, as you know, of the Green Table Talk on the ACB Organ Health Network, Organ Health Channel. You can find that on YouTube, by the way. And so with the Green Table Talk, I interview a lot of amazing people, and I spend a lot of time crying, of course. They share their stories and they're heartfelt, and they explain, why they became a donor, and they explain how they felt about it. I have recipients, I have donors on there. It's just a lot of love, and they express, that they feel it's important to donate. I even spoke to someone who didn't receive a transplant, was still waiting at that time, but thankfully, shortly after the interview, he received a transplant. So he's doing great. He's, he literally, like, after he got his transplant, he tore up his kitchen floors and he put down hardwood floors. And I was just like, wow, he has all this extra energy now. He felt like $1 million bucks, right? So it's a very inspirational show, and it's also an educational show as well. We talk about cooking and eating healthier, eating better, pre and post transplant. So please definitely check it out. It's a great show to take a look at and share your knowledge with others.
And that is on the ACB Organ Health YouTube channel, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Awesome. And later this week, speaking about sharing your story, which you have done so amazingly, Janine, and you've helped so many other people share their story as well. We will be hosting a Finding a Living Donor hands-on workshop on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this workshop is going to be facilitated by Afsana, who is a liver recipient who found her donor through a large social media campaign. Heather, who is an anonymous living liver donor and who also supports patients and family members trying to find a living donor, helping them create their own social media campaigns, and myself as well. So the three of us will be hosting that workshop on Wednesday at 12 p.m. We'll be helping participants build their story to share. So, how to think about creating that story, whether it's, to tell, in your religious circles, at a faith center, at a presentation at work, to tell your family members, to send an email, or to share a social media campaign, wherever you share, however you are comfortable sharing, helping people build that story and think about how and where to share. And so if you'd like to participate in that Finding a Living Donor hands-on workshop, you can register at givelifeuhn.eventbrite.ca.
That's a very good workshop. I'm sure that's going to be very beneficial to a lot of people. So we're also excited to have our Light Up for Living Organ Donation campaign called #ShareTheLight. We have over 30 landmarks across the country that will be lit up throughout the week. If you are near any of those any of those locations, please snap a pic, send it to us, or tag us on social, and you will be entered into a draw to win amazing Ajmera transplant gear. Can I enter, Candace?
Yeah, absolutely. Go take some pics. Open to anyone. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. And you can see on our social media as well, each day we will be posting the locations that will be lit up on social media. There are some locations who will be lighting up at different times. So we will let you know online. Due to the passing of the Queen, they have changed some of their timelines, but we're hoping across Canada that we will have green landmarks, and we encourage all of you to go out and check that out, because I'm incredibly excited to see Niagara Falls lit up green. I think that will just look absolutely beautiful.
I want to take a look at the Toronto sign and the Ottawa sign lit up in green. That's what I'm looking for.
Yes, I love those signs. They look so fantastic.
Yes.
Absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. And so another exciting release that we have is this Thursday. We will be releasing an episode of the Living Transplant podcast. My co-hosts for this episode coming are Joanne Kearney and Brendan Cahill, who are the co-founders of the Center for Living Organ Donation. They talk about their journey very openly. Brendan donated a kidney to Joanne through the Paired Exchange program. And so they talk about what that was like, what their journey was like, and how it brought them to co-found this Center for Living Organ Donation. And then we are joined by Dr. Atul Humar, and we discuss innovations in transplant and policy changes to support potential donors and recipients, and how we increase access to transplant across Canada. And I think specifically potential recipients as well will be really excited, and current recipients, because we talk a lot about those innovations and that technology that is coming forward, and the change that we've seen in the last 5 years, 10 years, and what that's going to look like in the future. And that gets me really excited to see, what that will look like, because as a recipient, we always wonder, what is the future going to look like for us, and what is that going to look like for organ donation?
Definitely. I will definitely have to tune into that podcast. It sounds good. So we have a new initiative to discuss as well. We are launching a Share the Shorts competition where high school students can submit short videos to bring awareness and education to living organ donation. They will compete between schools to win cash prizes. The winning school will compete in a semifinal round where voting from the public will take place on YouTube. Our submissions will open shortly, and deadlines are the first week of December. So look out for that, because it is coming soon.
Exciting. And for now, another entertainment break from rapper Helen Back. This is his new video. It is a new release. We are very excited. It is a song called The Resilience, and he leaves us with the message: life is crazy, faith is free, music is life. Enjoy.
A journey of 1,000 miles begins with just one step. 215 is the number that started the revolution. 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 Yeah, have you ever had your elder stolen from you? My people have, my people have. Have you ever had your culture torn from you? My people have, my people have. Have you ever seen the darkest days that still remain? My people have, my people have. So don't be afraid to go back that break, cause my people have, my people have. Yeah, I feel that time goes by, it's been a minute great. Filled with innocent lives is what religion paid. I know the leaders and elders who were survivors. They all have stories of their school arrival, and it's filled with so much atrocities, so many possibilities. We need to walk cautiously. I feel the body count will keep rising at every residential schools. They'll keep piling. 215 is the number that started the revolution. 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 We need to take a stand now so our loved ones' souls can be freed and fly out, and put our hearts at ease. If you survive the schools, now is your time to breathe. I think about the children, I think about the evil that was done in those buildings. I think about the energy, all the lost souls, all the bad memories taken from the families, never had a choice or a voice. Understand me, please. It's what we try to heal from. Intergenerational trauma I get tears from. The loss, the pain, the murder, the rape, the lies, the hate, the kids, the graves. We need an escape. I pray for the ones that didn't get away. 215 is the number that started the revolution. 215 is the number that started the revolution. 215 is the number that started the revolution.
Now we know we would not be who we are today in patient care without the partners in the community support patients, donors, caregivers, and advocates. We welcome our partners to share their gratitudes for Living Donation Week.
Canadian Blood Services is grateful to the healthcare teams, especially the coordinators, who help make transplant possible through the Kidney Paired Donation Program.
To those who step forward to become living donors, thank you for your kindness and generosity. You bring hope and new life to patients, and you remind us of the extraordinary power of living donation to save and improve lives.
The KPD program has helped to facilitate approximately 925 kidney transplants, and we wish to thank everyone who has helped to make all of these transplants happen.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Neveski, and I'm the president of the Canadian Liver Foundation. On behalf of all of us at the CLF, I'd like to extend a huge thank you for bringing hope to the 1 in 4 Canadians who may be impacted by liver disease in Canada. We are especially grateful to all of you who continue to share your living donor stories with us and bringing awareness to liver transplantation in Canada. You are such an inspiration. Thank you.
On behalf of the Kidney Foundation of Canada, as living donors and recipients, we thank you all for the amazing work that you do and the gift of life that you all give to each other.
Hi, organ donation saves lives.
On behalf of my wife and myself, I'd like to thank all people who have considered and who have actually donated organs to help people.
I think there is a growing need for people to promote organ donation, and we should all be doing it at every opportunity.
Like being treated like a hero, be a living donor like me.
I feel blessed to have been able to give a kidney to my husband. Be a donor, it saves lives, and there's tremendous need out there. Thank you.
I'm Craig Lindsay, Senior Manager of Programs and Public Policy with the Kidney Foundation. Living organ transplant is a great way to shorten wait times and improve outcomes for those looking to receive a life-changing transplant. Living Donation Week is a great time to celebrate the generosity of those who have donated or who are considering donating. It's also a chance to acknowledge the courage of those living with a transplant. Let's make living organ donation more visible, more accessible, and more equitable.
Hi everyone, Jeff Robertson here, Executive Director for the PKD Foundation of Canada. We are Canada's only organization solely dedicated to raising critical awareness of polycystic kidney disease and research funding right here in Canada. I'm here today to celebrate Living Organ Donation Week taking place between September 11th and 17th of this year. Living Donation Week has 3 goals. 1, to raise awareness and improve access and equity in living organ donation. 2, to celebrate living donors and the recipients, caregivers, and transplant teams. And 3, to give hope to those who are currently waiting for a transplant. Here in the PKD community, approximately 50% of those with the dominant form will rely on either dialysis or transplantation to prolong the quality of their life. So we know and understand the value of living donation and the positive impact that can have on wait times for those desperately waiting for a transplant. I encourage you this week during Living Organ Donation Week to speak to your loved ones, your family and friends about your wishes. And if you have any questions or concerns about living donation, reach out to the organizations that are supporting this event and this campaign and learn more about it. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Talking about it is the very first step. Thank you very much, and I wish you guys a great Living Organ Donation Week.
Hi, I'm Dr. David Peretz, Director of Manitoba Liver Transplant. During Living Donation Week, it's a reminder of all the effort and work that goes to make transplants possible to the donors, to the recipients. We are really privileged to participate in your journeys.
Hi, I'm Alex from the Transplant Ambassador Program. I was fortunate to receive a preemptive living donor kidney transplant 5 years ago. On behalf of all 150 transplant ambassadors across the province, including living kidney donors and kidney transplant recipients who've logged over 5,000 conversations with kidney patients, donors, friends, and loved ones since 2017, we're so grateful that you've allowed us into your lives to help guide you through challenging times. It's a labor of love, and we're so humbled to continue to do it.
Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Cooper. I'm the Vice President of the Ontario Renal Network and Trillium Gift of Life Network at Ontario Health. I'm so pleased to have the opportunity to take part in Living Donation Week 2022. Congratulations to UHN Center for Living Donation for launching this tremendously important awareness and education initiative. I hope the events of this week inspire those waiting for a transplant and celebrate those who make living donation possible, the transplant teams, and most especially living donors themselves. The Ontario Renal Network and Trillium Gift of Life Network are committed to working in partnership with providers, hospitals, patients, and families across the province to increase access to life-saving living donor transplantation and to seek ways to make it an integrated experience for donors and recipients. Living donor transplants make up a growing proportion of the total number of transplants performed annually in Ontario. On behalf of the Ontario Renal Network, the Trillium Gift of Life Network, and Ontario Health, all the best this week during Living Donation Week, and congratulations on your ongoing leadership efforts to inspire, innovate, and educate about living donor transplants.
Wow, that's incredible. We have such amazing partners across the country. And thank you so much to all of you for everything you do. It takes a team to care for each person living with kidney or liver failure. And we are so lucky at UHN to have the incredible leadership that we do, as well as the leadership from our city, Toronto. Please enjoy a short video from our leadership from UHN and Toronto.
Hello, my name is Kevin Smith. I'm President and CEO of the University Health Network, and I'm thrilled to be with you here today, especially to celebrate Living Donation Week, our chance to say thank you. Thank you first to those amazing people who are living donors, and of course to the amazing team UHN who participate in living organ donation delivery and the support of patients and each other. Since 2018, our center has expanded access to living organ donation for those in desperate need of life-saving therapies through organ donation. This, of course, is the transformative gift of life. And each and every day you bring this gift to so many patients, people, and families. We are so fortunate to have one of the largest living donor programs in the Western world, where more than 1,000 living donor cases are performed in our center. We also boast the largest kidney transplant program in Canada, with more than 200 transplants a year, with more than 60 of those coming from living donors. Today, we salute all of those who have done the extraordinary and selfless heroic act of living organ donor transplant. Thank you so much for making that ultimate gift to a colleague, a loved one, or to someone you simply never met before. It gives them truly their second chance at life. A particular shout out to the 100+ people who have made anonymous or non-directed living organ donations, literally saving the lives of people they've never met and likely never will meet. We know there is a critical need for more organ donors, and you serve for all of us as examples, and we thank you again for that. The inspiring example you have set will only encourage more of us to say yes to living organ donation. So once again, to all the living organ donors and to the teams that provide this amazing care, a sincere thank you, good wishes, and very best for the day. Thank you.
On behalf of the University Health Network Board of Trustees, it's my pleasure to join you in celebrating Living Donation Week. I want to use this opportunity to extend my thanks to those of you who helped to ensure that the Ajmera Transplant Center continues to be one of the most successful transplant programs in North America. In particular, thanks to our doctors and staff, organ donors and donor teams, and generous financial supporters. UHN continues to be the center of excellence thanks to all your efforts and dedication. I wish you a highly successful Living Donation Week and all my very best.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dr. Nazia Salzner. I am a transplant hepatologist at the Ajmera Transplant Center and also the medical director of the Living Donor Program. I wanted to wish everyone a happy Living Donation Week and particularly take time to thank all our living donors who came forward to generously donated to the recipients, and with this donation give them the gift of life and the gift of hope. Thank you everyone, and enjoy the week.
I'm Markus Selzner. I'm the surgical director of the liver transplant program in Toronto. I'm looking very much forward to the Living Donation Week, September 11 to 17 this year. And I want to say thank you for all the living donors who are the most amazing people and who are saving lives every day.
Hello, it's Dr. Joseph Kim, Director of the Kidney Transplant Program at the University Health Network, sending a message of gratitude to all of our living donors who have provided a tremendous gift to the recipients. Thank you. You truly are heroes and continue to inspire me every day in the work that I do. Thanks again.
As co-founders of the Center for Living Organ Donation, Brendan and I would like to extend our huge thanks to every living organ donor being recognized this week. It is because of your extraordinary gift of life that so many lives have been transformed and been given the ability to live on. Thank you.
And from my own experience, that gift is very special. The gift is the blessing of the giver. And the greatest gift we have is the team at UHN. And working with them over these past few years and the extraordinary things that they do is really a very special thing. And we're very proud and thankful to be part of it.
Congratulations, Living Organ Donation Week 2022. Every action leaves a mark.
Hello, Mayor John Tory here. From September 11th through September 17th, we recognize Living Donation Week, a week of national awareness to improve the access and equity in living organ donation. Every year, living donors save the lives of hundreds of Canadians awaiting a liver or a kidney transplant, offering an accelerated pathway to shorter wait times and, by extension, better health outcomes. But this is not only a time of heightened awareness, but also a celebration and appreciation for the living donors right across Toronto. This year's celebrations highlight just that, the stories that unite us. This week, we thank living donors across Canada for their selfless gift of life. We thank the caregivers, we thank the families for their support, and we thank the transplant teams for their innovation and care. And we celebrate the recipients' new leases on life. Whether you're a transplant recipient or candidate, a living donor, a family member, caregiver, or healthcare practitioner, these stories help us understand our own complex experiences and the experiences of those around us. Living donors not only give the gift of life to the recipient, but they also give back to families and to friends and to the community because the recipient is able to live a healthy life from the generous act of living donation. Because I have the privilege to know several living donors, I also know of their courage and what they go through. And that is truly an act of compassion and selflessness, which is almost beyond comprehension. These stories stretch far beyond those directly involved, but also play a crucial role in raising national public understanding of the life-changing gift of living donation, the resilience of our transplant patients and caregivers, and the dedication of our healthcare teams. And so, on behalf of the City of Toronto, I want to thank the living donors, of course, and thank the transplant recipients who have given and received their gifts of life at Toronto General Hospital. What you have done, in all cases, is inspiring and it's courageous. And thank you as well to the transplant teams. Your dedication to transplant innovation and patient care is one of the reasons why Toronto General is recognized as one of the top 5 hospitals in the world, and may it ever be so. Thank you very much.
Amazing. We have such incredible leadership. Wow. As I've previously stated today, and as you'll hear all throughout the week, Living Donation takes a team, from our generous living donors to our resilient transplant patients, their caregivers, family, friends, loved ones. We want to say on behalf of the program, thank you. Thank you. To our transplant teams, the doctors, nurses, surgeons, admins, social workers, all of that frontline staff who are there for all of us. None of this would be possible without you. Thank you for your dedication to the Living Donor programs. We're also incredibly grateful to our sponsors for Living Donation Week and the Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign. Thank you to our sponsors Astellas, Joanne Kearney, and Brendan Cahill, the Ejmira Transplant Center.
And thank you to our creative support, Chris Smith, for the ACB Organ Health YouTube channel, and to Stephanie and the YE Agency for all of their hard work and dedication to the Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign.
We hope you enjoyed the program today and you are excited to participate in all of the things that are to come in Living Donation Week this week. Please like, share, and comment on our social media at Give Life UHN, and join us in the many events that will be happening throughout the week from the Center for Living Organ Donation and our incredible partners across Canada. To view all of the events, you can visit givelifeuhn.eventbrite.ca. You can register there and you can take a look what is to come.
Now, we would like to ask Wanda to please close out our program today.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wanda.
Hi.
Okay, you can hear me. That's the good thing.
Yes. Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, it is my heart to say that I don't do closings, but what I do is new beginnings.
Oh,
beautiful.
And so I give thanks to all the voices that I have heard and the stories that were incredible. And one of them is that I followed Helen back way back when he was with War Party.
Oh, wow.
And as a youngin', he would come and stay at my place when he was performing around the Toronto area in his many changes. So to you, Helen Beck, I thank you for being brave, not only to show your music, but your journey around kidney disease. And I'm just here to tell you that if it's anything that you need here in the city of Toronto, I will be here for you.
Oh, beautiful.
And so I do give thanks to the most amazing stories that I've heard about the gift of life. And we as Indigenous people have been raised and in our culture to believe that everything is related. Everything is related as the trees, the plants, the water, and the many, many other things that we cherish in life. And there's nothing more important to show that than the connection of organs in one person that was ready for someone else's person. It is a natural thing in life to say that, not to be afraid, don't hide, and I hear about scars and all I can think about is, it's the kiss of love. It's a love mark. It's something so beautiful that it can't be ugly. And those who view it as ugliness has to open up their hearts and minds to understand that you can't live life by a code of conduct that doesn't include those who have love marks. So thank you so much. And like I said, it's not about a closing, but about a new beginning. There is one gift that we can give to each other that we can never take back, except now I've learned the organ that you give. But it's the gift of time. We can never take that back. And today we shared time together in greeting each other's stories and supporting each other. And I give thank you to all of you who shared a little bit of your time with me. And so as we move forward from this time and place, although we're not all in the same place, we're in the same space. And that we move forward and taking with us the friends we have met, the laughter we have shared, the stories that we have heard, and move forward with them in our lives and see how it is that we can adjust to make these stories even more stories. Because we as Indigenous people live by the story. We're told that we live in the hearts of the people only as long as that our stories continue to be told, or that our relatives continue to speak our name. Today, many memories have been made, and we take them forward. So Creator, watch over all of these individuals who are set out on a journey of the gift of life, that many more find that gift of life, that they enjoy, and actually have children after that gift of life is actually heartwarming. And so we move from this time and take with us all of that we have shared, all of that we have heard, and that Creator surround us all in wellness, happiness, joy, kindness, courage, but most importantly, surround us in hope. So migalat ni kanagana all my relations taho. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Wanda.
Thank you.
It's absolutely beautiful. We are so grateful to have Wanda join us today and to share these beautiful sentiments of sharing our story and bringing us so much joy. We hope that this week brings you all of these things that Wanda has stated, and that this week is a new step into the new beginning of living donation for many of us. We are so grateful that all of you have joined us today. And we are going to leave you today with the words of Marissa. Marissa is a kidney transplant recipient and is part of our Great Actions Leave a Mark campaign. Thank you. Happy Living Donation Week.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Nóideach manoach mé chéimclíonn na go hóimis óchameach é nisca óchameach anach san Squamish Teats. Hello, my name is Marissa Nahaney and I come from the Squamish Iniskat people. First, it started off as an autoimmune in my gallbladder, and that was removed in April 2009. My kidneys completely failed and I went on dialysis for the first time. Dialysis is not a life. It's really hard. And then my mom said that she wanted to donate. That March, we heard that we were a match. You know, I really thank my mom a lot because I never wanted to see my mom suffer. But what she did for me was amazing. Having a live kidney donor, you know, meant that I could just see better, hear better, feel better, travel. I got to create beautiful artwork. My artwork's now featured in museums, and you know, so I was able to get back to my life. For all my friends that have donors, it's just amazing to see what they do with their life, because it's a second chance. My scar shows me how tough I am and how resilient I am and how strong I am. Unfortunately, 2 years ago, I failed. So I'm under dialysis again. Having a living transplant means the world to me because dialysis is not a life. Finding a match, a really good match, is even more crucial. Ideally, a living donation would be the best. I just want my freedom back.